This particular report I'm looking at from Intel report, is actually quite scary. This report shows me that 68.3% of Nigerian businesses actually earn less than 200,000 naira in revenue every month. Revenue, not profit. Now, when we take a closer look at this particular report, it actually gets a bit worse. 48.8%, which is half of Nigerian businesses, earn less than 100,000 naira in revenue. In this particular video, we're going to look at why this is the case and how we can solve it. Now, the biggest problem with businesses in Nigeria is down to product, right? Choice of product. What do I mean by that? One of the common things I noticed when I was younger is when you go into the market and you begin to hear people's conversations, a lot of these people started business because their neighbor started that same business. And I'll give you a more direct example. Madam A started selling rice in Derika and things like that, right? Madam B, her neighbor, which was also a stay-at-home woman, started to also sell rice because people always came to patronize Madam A for rice. That's typically how a lot of micro businesses come to be. They see what is working and then they just start selling the same thing. They don't produce or introduce any form of innovation. They don't change anything. They just do the exact same thing. Now, when you do the exact same thing, you are bound to fail. And the reason why you are bound to fail is because the customers that were going to Mr. A or Mrs. A, they will not automatically start patronizing you because you started selling rice. Even if they patronize you the first time, if you don't give them the right customer service, if you don't give them the right support, if you don't give them the right conversations that Mrs. A, maybe Mrs. A knows all the gist in the town or the gist on the street, they will go back to Mrs. A, right? And this is the problem where a lot of you fall into this trap. You are doing a business or you are selling a product or you are providing a service because you heard that somebody else is doing successfully in it. You have no passion, you have no idea, you have no gumption as to why you should even go into the business. And guess what? Whether you like it or not, you know the truth. Tell yourself the truth. You are probably not even interested in this business. A lot of people go and look for supply before verifying if there's demand. I'll give you an example. I'll tell you no, it's not a personal story, but it's something that I'm sure when I start talking, you might know who I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus or shade anybody. I just want you to realize what's happening and know what needs to be done so that you are going to make the right decision. So a group of people have gone to China recently, right? They've gone to China and they've started to bring back goods. A lot of these goods, their selling point is, buy this product at 10 naira and sell at 500 naira, right? Buy this product at 10K and sell at 50K, 70K, things like that. Whether you like it or not, you are their customer, right? Which is not a problem. It's a good business. It's a good business. They've already gone to China. They've taken that investment. They've taken that risk. Your job is just to buy from them at a certain price and resell. The problem is you are looking at the profits or the margin you can make. You are not first identifying who you will sell that product to. So you've come to meet you and they say that, we have this luxury bags, or we have this luxury hair, or we have this mobile phone, whatever it might be. And you are just excited that, yes, so let me go and quickly buy this thing before it runs out of stock. The challenge is after you buy it and you take it to your own shop in Ondo or Port Harcourt, who are you going to sell it to? So, moral of the story, please sort out your demand first. Make sure there's a demand before you actually even look at providing supply or going to tap into supply. Now, how do you validate this? One of the best frameworks I use for this is called PDP, right? I talk about it a lot on this particular channel. Another thing I want you to do is, some of you provide a service. If you provide a service, how I want you to do it is write down 10 people that you can do a free run for your service. So if you're a photographer that takes headshots, you can say, okay, you know what? These are the 10 people that I can do free headshots for, things like that. The reason why I'm telling you to work with 10 people is because Out of those 10 people, their job is to introduce you to 3 other people that will patronize your business. So 10 people introduce you to 3 people each. That's 30 people, right? All of a sudden, you have 30 people that might patronize your business within the next 3 months. Trust me, they will, out of that 30, at least 5 will patronize your business. So far, you know what you're doing and your price is right. Okay? So don't do supply first. Demand first and then supply. So when we were younger, right? Well, let me speak for myself. Where I used to live, there was this guy that had a kiosk. His name was Hamza, right? So Hamza had a kiosk. He used to sell biscuits. He used to sell sweets. He used to sell Milo, stuff like that, right? I'm sure you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. For those of us that are non-Nigerian audience, my non-Nigerian audience, imagine a corner store or a 7-Eleven, right? But a human version of that, aka Hamza, right? But anyways, one thing I noticed is whenever I was going to school in the morning, which was around 7:15 thereabout, Hamza had always opened the shop. He was already selling Milo, milk, biscuit, sweet to people as at 7:15. I remember I used to ask my mom sometimes, like, what time does Hamza go to sleep? Or what time does Hamza wake up? That sort of thing, right? Now, Hamza opens the shop every day because he sells to people in that particular estate every day. His distribution map is just to open a shop, and everybody that comes there in that estate, that's his map. He just needs to make sure that he needs to open his shop. Okay? I'm going somewhere. Don't worry, I'm going somewhere. The whole point of this Hamza story is, for your business, what's your distribution plan? How are you engaging with your target customers? How are your target customers engaging with you? The main problem you have is either the distribution is non-existent. What does that mean? You post on social media today, you post again in 3 weeks' time, or you don't even post at all. You became shy. You talk about your business on WhatsApp. You spend more time, I don't want to be harsh, but you spend more time chatting with your friends and family about how business is not bad, or how business is bad, or how business is not moving, instead of spending that same time looking for your target customers to engage, to patronize your business, right? Because I don't understand how you sell a product that is 20,000 naira and you can't sell to 10 people in a month. In a month, you can't find 10 people to sell to. This is a problem. We need to solve it. We need to solve it. So understand what your distribution is, right? Now, for some of you, you won't have distribution, but it is scattered. What do I mean by that? Only you, TikTok, only you, Instagram, only you, Snapchat, only you, Bumper, only you, community, WhatsApp community groups. Haba. The thing is, because you have so much activity going on in your life, you think you are making progress, but you are not. You are not. You are standing on one spot and you are running 100 miles per hour. Guess what? You're going to burn out. You are definitely going to. I'm not cursing you. I'm not insulting you or anything like that. It's a fact. You're going to burn out like that. Okay? Moral of the story. Another framework. So PDP is for products. When it comes to content, I have one called APC. Always post content. APC. Now, the whole point of always posting content is you need to find content on social media that is relevant to what your target customers watch. For example, let's say there's a lady that I was working with the other day. She does nails, right? Good. So she does nails. She's a nail tech. I can post about nail tech. I can post about Rihanna's new launch. I can post about the new perfume that Billie Eilish just uploaded. I can post about Nollywood. I can even post about the new Jumbo. Oh, I don't know her name, but you know what I'm talking about. That lady. I can post about her new movie or a movie that she acted that I really liked. Don't get me wrong, nothing is stopping you from posting about these things. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the ladies that do nail tech find these kind of things relevant, find these kind of things interesting. So as you post, so one of them will now comment and be like, You too, you like that movie. Oh, you too, you saw that thing that Billie Eilish did. Oh, I feel like that perfume is too expensive. You start that conversation, right? Once you start that conversation with them, you can now stylishly drop, auntie, it's true. When next are you coming to do your nails? Or as they are talking to you, they themselves remember that it's true, you do nails self. I need to come and fix my nails. So when are you free? Okay, maybe I'll come this weekend. You get my drift, right? That's how you want to build some form of distribution for your business. Now, don't scatter it everywhere. This thing I just told you, it can just be Instagram. It can just be WhatsApp. It can be Instagram and WhatsApp. If you say, oh, how would I post it on WhatsApp? Guess what? You have WhatsApp status. Instead of insulting people and fighting with people on the internet, put it there, WhatsApp status. Now, one thing I must mention here, which is very, very important, especially for, again, I don't want to sound, I'm trying not to sound too brutal, but especially for ladies, even men as well, actually, because it has happened with men. People that have opinions that are different from your opinions, that are not, life-threatening or anything like that, don't let your opinion hold you back from making money. I'll give an example. Somebody supports Arsenal, the other person supports Man U. Don't be the donkey that says that, oh, because you support Man U, I'm not going to cut your hair and you're a barber. Don't be silly. This is a big one. And it all goes down to like mindset. So there's some problem that you guys have when it comes to business where, you have what I will call business anxiety. You are afraid that, oh, if I collect that money, what if it doesn't work out? If I launch that product, what if it doesn't sell? You have that business anxiety. Now, the truth of the matter is, people that fear failure will never... See, if you fear failure, you are a failure. The whole point of failure is to lead to success. Have you ever seen somebody become successful? When a new baby is trying to walk, have you ever seen a baby just from crawling, just jump up one time, and start running? No, it's impossible. That will scare you. That will definitely scare me, right? So you have babies that they will first crawl, then they will try and stand up, then they will fall bagada or yakata, and then they will try and stand up again. It's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with your business. Obviously, you want to have like some sort of safety measures in place where you don't use you don't do what they call heavy bets. Like if you have 10,000, you don't say, oh, I'm going to throw this whole 10,000 into the business, into this particular product launch. No. You move a bit smarter than that, right? You kind of wedge your bets to make sure that, okay, you know what? Worst case scenario, I wouldn't lose, right? So this thing I'm talking about, the summary or the moral of the reason I'm telling you is you must be willing and ready to collect capital. You must be willing and ready to collect loan. You must be willing and ready to go and ask family and friends for support. Don't be afraid to be indebted to other people. Don't be afraid of in Nigeria they call it gbese, oni gbese, right? Don't be afraid of these things. If you're afraid of these things, you are a failure. You will remain a failure. It's as simple as that. I didn't make the rules. Every successful business you know today, forget that, we bootstrapped. It's a lie. One way or the other, they found somebody to help them. Even, okay, fine. They bootstrapped. All the money came from their pocket. Fine. When you are talking to them, you will just hear them say, oh, and then my folks. Go and check. All of them, they always forget to mention that my folks or something like that, right? Again, don't be afraid of asking for money. Don't be afraid. Now, obviously, like I said, let there be safety measures, okay? But you need it. You need it. Now, let's say your business is still new. I'm going to give you 2 ways I used to collect money. The second one is a big questionable, but let's go. So the first one is the business you're working with, they will give you a guarantee like a purchase order. So that purchase order is like, so far you deliver what you promise you will deliver, we will pay you within 60 days. You then take that purchase order to a bank or your family and friends or whoever it might be, right? Be careful of loan sharks. There's a reason why they call them loan sharks. But you take that purchase order, and then those people will give you the money, right? They will give you the money, and then you go and deliver. Okay? They give you the money, you go and deliver. When the company pays you back, you can then return the money to the loan sharks or your family and friends, or to the bank that you collected a loan from, with their interest on top, right? That sort of thing. That's number one. Number two is when you are negotiating with the people you are working with, and this works mostly with service-based businesses. It can work with product-based businesses, but I've mostly used it for service-based businesses. Now, what you can do is you tell the company or the business you're working with to pay you 50 to 70% upfront, right? 50 to 70% upfront, and that is actually the cost of delivering or fulfilling the product or service to these people, right? So that way, they are paying you the money you're going to use to actually deliver the product to them. So once they pay you that money, you take the money, you buy the product, you perform the service, whatever it might be, and then you deliver it back to them, okay? What's left, that 30%, once they pay it to you, is your profit, right? Those are the two ways you can do it if you don't want to collect debt. But at some point, you can't run from it. You collect debt, right? Whether it's debt by, collecting a credit card or something like that. There are so many different ways that you can collect debt. You just have to be smart about it and obviously be safe. Next up is systems. Now, when it comes to systems, I want you to think of systems as processes or pillars you put in your business, where no matter how you feel, so let's say sometimes you are motivated, sometimes you're not motivated, things like that, those processes are in place, those systems are in place so that your business can still operate, whether with you or without you, things like that, right? As your business grows, the systems in your business ideally also grow. Every business sits on these three things. You have a product, right? That product needs to be pushed into the hands of potential customers. That's your traffic, right? For them to buy. Once they decided to buy, you must then fulfill. That's the final one, fulfillment, right? For some people, fulfillment can be operations, so it's PTO, but for me, it's PTF, right? Good. Now, that is the only thing you need now for your business. Put your PTF framework in place and you should be good to go. As the business grows, your PTF framework ideally should grow. In your business, what is your PTF framework? That's it. Another thing you need is community. Now, community is very, 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 very important. The whole point of me starting this YouTube channel was because I was looking to build a community, right? And the reason why I say you want to build a community is because business itself is a very lonely sport if you run it on your own. I tell people a lot that business is a marathon, is not a sprint. I say this a lot and I'm not joking around with it. Marathons are much more fun. To be fair, the highest I've ever run in my life is probably 1,000 kilometers, right? But marathons are much more fun when you are running it with your friends. I can guarantee you that you're running with your friends, you're running with family, you're running with people that are pursuing the same goal or are excited to be there with you as well. Okay? You need to look at business like that. You need community. The chances that you are facing a problem and somebody else hasn't faced and surpassed that problem is extremely slim. You just need to find the people that have surpassed the problem you're currently facing. I'm speaking from experience here. I remember the first time I was trying to build my e-store to the point where I could kind of scale to $1 million a month on a consistent basis. And I just found out from one of the people I was working with at the time that you are just not promoting it enough. Like, you are scared of running ads. And since then, I'm not scared of running ads anymore. Again, on this particular channel, I have a video that talks about how I spent $4,000 on Instagram ads, right? And that was then. I don't know how much I spent now. I don't want to think about how much I spent now. It will be a lot. Anyways, I say all this to say you need community, right? Now, when it comes to community, you have platforms like Shecluded. This is a community, right? I think the people on this particular channel, they chose EBS Circle as the name of our community, and that's something I'm working towards, right? So if you want to join the community, there's a There's a form in the description. Go and fill that form, and we'll take it from there. But again, I'm not trying to get you to join my community. That's not the plan here. If you want to join it too. I'm not going to stop you. And I would love to have you. Let me not say it like, oh, I'm not going to stop you. Like, that's, who am I? Please, I would love to have you if you want to join. But just try to join like minds so that your journey is easier and more fun. Right? If you're on your own, you think that these problems you have are peculiar to just you, but they are not. Okay? So, moral of the story, find a community to join. Another community I'm part of is Founders Connect. That's PC Timmy's community. I'm not the most active person there, but I have met and listened to amazing people speak, and I don't even speak much there, right? So again, you get the drift. Find the community that is relevant to your business, relevant to what you're trying to achieve in this world, common to where you are as well. And you will definitely begin to see some level of success and begin to learn more about how to grow your business. You might, in your mind now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, what is Damini saying? I've not even started to earn 200K. Already telling me I should go and look for staff, right? Yes, the final one is for you to either expand or outsource. What do I mean by that? For your business to grow, you can't be the only one doing the business. You can't be a solopreneur, right? Yes, you can use AI to do certain things, but I've also learned that a country like Nigeria, we've not gotten to that point where we want to use AI for everything. We need to empower other people. We need to stretch our hand and help other people and give them the opportunity. That's how we can all grow together. Because if one person is ridiculously wealthy and everybody else is poor, that person that is ridiculously wealthy, whether they like it or not, is still poor, right? That's one thing that I've come to understand with my research. So when it's time, employ people. When it's time, grow your team, right? If you don't like to manage, or you don't like human relationships, or that sounded a bit weird. You say you don't like human relationships. Or let's say you just don't like working, you don't like telling people what to do, or you don't like firing people, or you're a chill person, right? Which I feel like you don't make money being a chill person, but that's a story for another day. You can outsource. So I'll give you an example. I've worked with people, I've worked with businesses where they outsource the social media side of things. So posting on social media, working with content creators or UGC creators or influencers, things like that. Those guys manage those things. I've met people that manage people's paid media, so running ads on Meta, running ads on Google, stuff like that. They outsource that to a team. I've met people that have outsourced their legal side of things. I think to be fair, that's what I do right now. All my legal, I've outsourced it to a lawyer, right? I've outsourced it to a lawyer and his team, so they work on it, right? So in your business, you need to learn how to do these things, okay? These things, I'm not saying that you can do or implement everything we've spoken about overnight. No, right? I'm not naive. I know you might not be able to do that. But nothing is stopping you from doing these things, at least one by one. Everything we've spoken about, go and pick the one that you can fix today and begin to work on it. It's either the PTF framework, understand what that is, identify how you're going to infuse that into your business, or you join the EBS circle. If you've not subscribed, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.